JHK here for the AllStar, and joining me right now from Colorado is UFC welterweight Jordan Williams. Jordan, it's good to see you again, man. How's life treating you?
Hey, my brother, life's going good. Like we were talking before this, it's progressing. If it ain't progressing, you ain't living.
Exactly. And before we get into the fight and everything, I just wanted to get an update on the dude that tried to steal your car. Did they ever find him?
Nah, man, and that's my bad because I didn't apprehend that suspect. But I got the goods. Secured the car, but someone else's car might be at risk now. Jeez.
Exactly. And you know what? He might be at home watching the interviews that you did and all the YouTube videos and thinking like, man, I can't run into Jordan Williams again, man. I can't run into that guy because he's going to beat my ass probably.
Hey, man, I hope he's watching some videos of some sort to help his life. Whether it be videos of me beating people up or just him learning that maybe stealing cars isn't the best option.
Yeah, it is. It's very odd, man, that people are still stealing cars. I guess there's a market for stolen cars still.
Hey, so check this out. Check this
Yeah.
out. That's funny. So, uh, the guy he left his hat. His ring got. I don't know. I don't know if his ring was in his pocket or if it was on his actual finger. But he lost his ring. He lost his hat, and I found a phone in the
Mm-hmm.
car. Now check this phone out. He had this. So the event happened like I forget, but he had the phone for a couple months. It was like July that we searched the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
No contacts, no calls, no text, no downloads, no email, no nothing on this phone. This is a straight burner phone, and but he had the phone since July.
Okay.
So we did some investigation. We think that maybe he got out of jail and he has good memory, and he was star 67 everyone. And like, man, I just think it was someone who just got out of jail,
Mm-hmm.
who obviously a little, maybe a little high off something,
Yeah.
and just saw a great opportunity to try to come away with something. Like, man, like that guy, he's had some experience. I know that.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope he's doing well. Hopefully he's not stealing cars right now or doing anything, or maybe he's sitting in a cell for something else. Probably usually that's most probably what's gonna what's happening to him.
I mean, shit, if you're not scared of stealing a car, I mean, shoot, I like ever since I got caught stealing as a child, I felt like in the store. I felt scared after after that. If you don't have no fear stealing a car, man, I don't doubt that you're out there doing something mischievous.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, one thing's clear: you're not doing anything mischievous, and you're in camp, you're doing your thing. And one aspect that I noticed a lot from watching you on social media is the use of cannabis as medicine. With your battles, you face with diabetes and kind of medicating yourself with cannabis. How has that plant changed your life?
Man, it's helped me keep one for one, and like life is just so stressful. For anyone you are, we all have problems. We all have setbacks and variables that everyone deals with. And it's no secret that I have diabetes, and it's no secret that marijuana is a benefit for those who are dealing with any autoimmune disease. And my autoimmune disease, like, is caused from an overinflated pancreas to the point where it doesn't use anymore. Well, what's the number one? Before they knew how beneficial marijuana or cannabis is for the human body, the one thing they did know is that it stops inflammation. And I'm a I'm an alternative history speaker or learner. Like, I believe in conspiracies, so like of some of them. So um we like weed is just like it's pawned as this bad thing, but it's definitely a benefit that like government and just everyone like why do we call it marijuana? A is because the government was trying to make it seem like Mexicans or people below the border were bringing it in and trying to give a bad look towards, um, you know, other or immigrants to try to get immigrants away. So I don't believe any of the hype that cannabis is bad or any of those resources that say that like take um, stomach or like pain pills that are gonna ruin your stomach lining and all those other just aspects that flour doesn't do. So I'm a strong believer in the benefits that it carries, and I like nothing's gonna change that. And like I have diabetes, nothing's gonna so far to our knowledge, nothing's gonna change that. And besides one person who is offering me stem cells, so that's the I'm a conspiracy theorist, and so most conspiracy theorists like weed's good. Leave it at that.
For sure, man. Well, you're living proof, man, that it's helping people, and the view is changing around the world, especially in the U.S. So hopefully it continues, and people get more of their freedoms. Now let's jump into your last fight against Mickey Gall. It was your first fight in the UFC at welterweight. I was actually really surprised by how that fight played out. What did you feel went wrong in that fight?
First off, I felt like um, the respect level when I go in there and I go and my head's on and I'm in fight mode. I just pursue, and I never really took in the aspect of my opponents know that, and they can and they're gonna have all these movements, and I never really I respected him as a fighter and as someone in the UFC, but I just didn't respect him enough to sit down and lay low on my punches. I was leaning a lot, which tells you you're overzealous and you're not being technical and you're just coming forward. And I feel like what we've been working on a lot this training camp is, sitting down on our punches, being technical, more reading, and I feel like the result of that last fight was a shock to me too, but more so because of my respect towards my my opponent, and we're respecting our opponents. We're still respecting my own. Don't get me wrong, we're still respecting our own skill set, but we're being smarter, we're cautious, and we have a gas tank. Why not? Why be afraid to use all 15 minutes? So I've learned a lot from that last fight. I respect a lot more people after that fight, and I'm gonna sit down a lot lower on my punches for this next one.
And also, you were with a new team for this fight. And, when you win, everything's all good. You know what I mean? The stuff that usually should bother you don't bother you. But when you lose, that's when you have that support system, right? You have the coaches, you have the team that you should be around.
Yes, yes. And you know what? Like, being with the best teams that I feel like is the best team in the world. Coach Mark, we sat down and we had a talk, and it's not like we're thinking of that we can't hang in the UFC or that we don't belong or that we're giving up, And I'm really thankful that I'm under the guidance of one of the best coaches in the world to reboost and reamp my confidence going into this fight. So I do believe in Factory X full-heartedly, and I don't think that performance, but I mostly take responsibility, and which allows me to learn the most from my last experience.
For sure. And I saw that you took some damage to your face. What were those injuries, and how was the recovery?
I'm gonna tell you this because you're my friend, and it doesn't really matter now because everyone tries to hit you in the face anyway. So last fight, I was a little surprised myself that like why can't I go against like Nasty Imavov and like go 3 hard ass rounds, punches, subdue damage that like top 15 ranked people in the 185 division can't handle. And I was really questioning like, is it the weight cut? Is it like something that's going on with me and my preparation for the fight. Well, lo and behold, the mother effer caught me with a really good punch. You know what I'm saying? And he said he was working on the striking, and dude was working on the striking. You know, I give him all the credit and credibility to the world. I had 6 fractures that they could make out. They said, or more. They didn't really tell me how many fractures were in my nose. They just said multiple. So that means there's at least 2. There was 2 fractures and one of the orbital bones on my face, and one fracture in the other. Both orbital floors were fractured, and one of my eyes is sunken back a little bit. Or they're saying like it could be permanently sunken back if you know, it doesn't heal right, but over time. But I had at least 2 fractures in my nose, 1 fracture, one fracture in my left, 2 on the right, and there's another fracture mixed in the mix. So there's a total of 6. I forget the name of what they called it. You know, there's all those really long names for the bones, but like there were a total of 6 fractures in my face, and that would explain why, you know, I got floored. And so we're dealing with that. Everything cleared out for this next fight. Everything's healed up. So we're all full steam ahead for this next one.
No doubt, no issues, and now you're returning, dude. Like UFC 268, Madison Square Garden, MSG is so famous, world famous venue. Is that a bucket list type thing for you right there?
I mean, that's like a bucket list type of thing that you don't even like expect that to be checked off. Like it was not on my bucket list because, you know, you hear Madison Square Garden, like, hold up, Madison Square Garden, like, I'm really fighting there, like, and I fought in Abu Dhabi at Fight Island, you know, so in Vegas was like to be called up onto that stage, definitely truly an honor. And you know, now that's like on the bucket list and you get checked off. Like now that I know that I'm that caliber of an entertainer to be on that stage, it feels great, man. It feels like it's another chance. And also on that note, it's like I'm a businessman. I know why. You know, the first 2 fights were chances for me to win, but like now they're setting me up. They're gonna use my last fight to set someone else up. You know, I'm a businessman. I know this. Like they try to do it for me. I lost my 2 opportunities, and now they're using my last opportunity to set someone else up. So and then he's coming from Ireland. He's a hype train. We're going to be at Madison Square Garden. What better way to promote a debuter with a lot of hype? But on the other hand, what better way to stop that hype, get myself on those same train tracks that everyone else put him on, and go forward. So it's every angle of this can be looked as a worry, but also every angle of this could be like, this is my shot to jump back in the race and be back in the talk and just really prove to myself where I belong. And what better stage than Madison Square Garden? You know, my nickname is Boomaye. You know, Ali Boomaye. Ali fought there, so like I get to share the same arena as one of my heroes and inspirations in life. So it's truly great. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, you mentioned your opponent, and he does have some hype coming out of Europe, Ian Garry. Did you know who he was before being offered the contract?
No, I didn't. You know, like I said, I didn't say this, but like my coach has been saying, and we've been talking to our people, and it's like, man, like the European scene is just not really up to par. I feel like there are great athletes, like, you know, Conor McGregor came out of there. I feel like it's kind of, there's not per se like no one good comes out of there, but it's harder. It's harder to come good because they're still learning. They're still learning and just gaining talent out of there. They have a lot of talent, but you know, America is where it's at. You know, people move from their country to our country to learn, and uh, I have not really heard any much hype about him coming into this fight. I know him now, you know, and he will for sure know me.
And what is your impressions of him, after watching a couple of his fights?
He's skilled. He's well rounded. He has a nice one too. Nice foot kick, nice calf kick. He likes to work low to high with his right leg, and his left leg he throws a nice flashy head kick off. And we're expecting, from what I take away from this film, is that he calls himself the future, so he highly believes in himself. I'm really not expecting UFC jitters to play into this one. You know, if he really believes in his name, he's gonna be present and he's gonna be there, which is totally fine and what I want. Um, that I feel like this guy, he's surprisingly for his name being future, after all the fights I've watched him, he's like really respectful to his opponents, but he's he thinks a lot of himself. You know, he calls himself the future. He likes to kick a lot. His has a 1-2 that he throws often. Basic stuff that we've seen, but that's really what I can take away from this guy, is that he's highly confident in himself.
You just mentioned something that about yeah, he has confidence, and he's also undefeated. He has all this hype. Maybe when he walks out, that's when he finally hits him. You know what I mean? Like, holy, like, walking out to that in your debut it's a different animal, don't you think?
Oh, I know so. I know so. And I'm someone who has fought, like, I fought 3 times on the Contender Series, and before Contender Series, I fought people like Max Griffin, Rodrigo Vargas, um, someone else that's in the UFC now, like Dwight Grant. Like, that's like some of my amateur and professional career. Like, that's that's higher level than he's ever faced. So like I hope he gets woken up. I hope that feeling finally hits him that he's there, and like, this ain't your regional scene where your whole region thinks the world's about you. Like, I'm gonna come in there, and the look that I'm gonna give him, he's gonna know I'm there for keeps. Backs against the rope. So I'm gonna try to choke him with it.
The UFC's clearly trying to build him. Your job is to go in there and give him a reality check. What does that reality check look like? You mentioned a choke. Is that what you're seeing? Submission?
You know what? I feel like I'm just gonna be present. I'm gonna be alert, and I'm just gonna make all the right moves. I'm not gonna get too in detail with my game plan before the fight, but I feel like definitely we're gonna pressure this guy. We're gonna get him on his heels, and we're gonna take the fight to him, and not be at, like, I mean, he's a long range striker. So what, I can hang at long range, but we're gonna get in his face, make this a gritty fight, make this dirty.
All right, November 6th, UFC 268, New York City, Madison Square Garden. Jordan Williams, appreciate you, man. Always a good chat.
Hey, my brother, thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate the time you gave me, and let's go fucking do this. Let's do this fucking W in Madison Square Garden. Can you believe that? Fuck, let's go.